Hello everyone, I'm Jordan Reynolds and sorry for the background. There's a bike and there's just a bunch of other stuff behind us at the moment. But what I want to say is welcome. So my sustainability challenge, the problem that my project will address is decreasing the amount of single-use plastic waste when handling Starbucks product. So, for instance, when using the plastic cups, we need to ensure that we're not just using them because they're convenient. For instance, during training, we use a lot of plastic cups, paper cups, and just a lot of waste, especially when we train our individuals and our new partners, But instead of convenience, we should use the designated item that they have or the product that Starbucks created so that we don't create that waste. So also another example is pouring teas. We have 4 types of tea: black, white, passion, and green, into plastic cups at the end of the night, the Trenta cups. And each one costs like 30 cents. And that is really for people to get out like 2 minutes quicker. And then in turn, that creates even more waste. And then another problem that my project will address is the ability to hopefully recycle at every store, or maybe even just the knowledge of what to recycle and what not to recycle. So in the social aspect, this project will help people with the knowledge to understand why recycling is important, why single-use plastics are bad, and it'll help also create an equal playing field when it comes to owning each person's sustainability measures, whether or not it be at work, and then it'll also trickle down into their personal lives. So we're tackling 2 things. Then the economic piece of this project is the ability to save Starbucks millions of dollars. And in doing so, this is just one single change that I'm looking at currently, and that's the Trenta cups for teas, and just single-use plastics in general. Let's see. There is also more cause, although just not, there's more single-use plastic waste other than just the Trenta cups. That's just an example that I really like to use because it kind of puts it into perspective and it helps people realize what they're doing. And then finally, the environmental aspect, as you probably all know, comes in hand with getting rid of the single-use plastics, and in doing so, will make our earth not more than a trash can. So we will help save this world. I realize that it's a corporation and sometimes you can't change much, but it's a step, and it's one that I'm willing to take because our world needs it. So then the next question is who the project client is and some information about the organization. So this organization is Starbucks, as you all know. They started the organization in 1971 by Howard Schultz. And so now their CEO, Kevin Johnson, just recently all store managers and district managers went to Chicago, Illinois, and he stated there's no real definition, but he stated that Starbucks is going to hopefully be one of the people out front tackling the environmental problems that we have and lowering our waste. So, and really owning that. But there's no real clear definition. So I look forward to hearing what he has in store for us in the next couple years. So anyways, if we complete the math, currently, as of 2018, the number of stores that Starbucks has is 27,339 around the globe. And so, say if you only take half of those stores, that's 13,669. And sorry for this, the numbers beforehand, but it'll just help you kind of understand in the math portion if your brain works like that. what's going on. So say each store out of the 13,000 plus uses 4 Trenta cups at the end of the night, and there's 7 nights, and 30 cents each for each cup. So totaling $1.20 for each night for each store. So one night costing 13,669 Starbucks stores, it'll cost $16,402. Then if you multiply this by 365 days, that makes it $5,987,022. So, or 54,676 cups a day. And for a year, that's 19,956,740 cups. That's a lot of cups. And that's just Trenta cups for half the stores. So the next time you go into a Starbucks, please bring a reusable cup. It'll be really nice on the environment. You'd be surprised. Then my next explanation kind of touches on 3 of those questions that the 3, 4, and 5. So who cares about the problem, a solution, why they care, how you propose to find and apply a pathway to a solution, and some potential solutions to the problem. So why I care about this problem is really, it's just personal. I never really thought that the environment was a big deal until probably about like 5 years ago, where I kind of realized what I was personally doing with all the trash and everything being thrown out, and it's just, it went personal, and that's why I care about this, because I see it on a day-to-day basis on how much waste just one store can do. And if you multiply that by 27,000 plus stores, I can only imagine with Starbucks being the #1 leading coffee store. So anyways, moving on. I also meet with my manager on Friday, September 13th, to tell her more in depth about my capstone project and the 5 whys on how we can accomplish this and why we should accomplish it. I gave her a little bit of a brief description, and she's fully on board, and she wants to actually change our training and how we do it currently. So I just trained someone recently, and we used at least 20 cups. We used paper. We could actually recycle those. But imagine if someone else didn't. So anyways, the first step actually is obviously speaking with my manager, explaining what my capstone project entails, what I need from her, the partners, as well as having support from corporate that will be established through meetings or any necessary form of communication, probably through the district manager. Then starting the process by implementing conversations with each partner in my store to establish guidelines on how we're going to tackle our single-use plastic waste, how we can make it better, and how we can brainstorm on getting the district to recycle too, because we will have to bring in probably some, I guess, politicians or whoever runs how we recycle in Washington, which is pretty surprising because Washington, we don't use paper bags, and we're getting rid of straws, and we're very proactive for the environment, but it's not as easy to recycle in Washington, which is surprising. Then next, establishing parameters on how I will pitch this to the district once our case study is done, and then corporate, if it's a successful case study, the findings and maybe even the negatives, because maybe they want to hear that of what we found out. So there seems to be more, definitely, which is what you guys are for. and it's a start, and I'm really excited to begin, because hopefully I know sitting down with my manager will definitely put a lot more into perspective and give me more numbers on how much everything costs. So the main reason why they care, though, why like my manager or the district manager, why my partners care, and some of the partners don't even realize why they should care, is to help save the environment and just change everything. I think you guys know, but it's also to have the negative connotation of Starbucks being one of the main abusers of polluting the earth. That's also one of the big things too. So how does this project relate to my passion and future career path? First off, never did I think I would go back to working for Starbucks. I was working, it'll be almost 6 years, but I took like 10 months off because I went to work for the Department of Ecology for the state of Washington and the Human Resources Department, and I loved it, but I ended up leaving because, one, my contract ended, and I went for a study abroad for a month in Nepal and China. But why do I not like Starbucks as much? Probably because the hours and just a little bit about the pay. But other than that, the community, the people that you meet, and the mission and the vision of what Starbucks entails is truly outstanding. It does depend on the type of manager and district manager that you have, but thankfully I have ones that truly care about my journey. So although my professor, or our professor, helped me also realize that maybe I can't change the corporation, but start with my store and then work my way out through employee education by creating that social momentum and help them realize why it's important, and the 5 whys kind of. So if I know if I show results and produce results through this case study in this capstone project, then maybe I will be able to make a difference. I'm just excited to see where this takes me in my career. So thanks for listening, and sorry it's so long. But yeah, thanks. I hope you have a great day.